These irons cost a fraction of what the similar big brand models do. But should you be trying them? Today, we're going to find out. So the irons in question are the Caley 01T irons, and these are one of the new lineup from Caley Golf. Now these irons are a hollow-bodied player's distance iron, and they rival some of the big brands, very similar to things like the TaylorMade P790. Now the big thing about these irons, they are a direct-to-consumer iron, so you're not going to see them in retail shops, you're going to buy them directly from the website, they're going to get shipped to you, and that is going to mean a couple of things that we're going to find out in this video today. But there is one major thing about these, and that is the price, which I'll get into very shortly. But overall, the irons themselves, like I say, are one in a lineup that are new from Caley Golf. And these ones are aimed at more of the sort of mid to low handicapper because of that player's distance iron. And I want to test a couple of things today. I want to see how they feel and look. I want to know how they react around the greens, because one of the things that I will query with a distance iron is, are they a little bit jumpy off the face when trying to play a delicate shot? And then I want to know, are they controllable? Because one of the big problems I think that we see with hollow body irons are the distance control sometimes lacks. We see that if an 8 iron, for instance, is going to go 165, out of the blue you get one that goes 180. So we're going to put that to the test. So let's have a little initial hit, find out what they're like, and then we're going to see how these golf clubs perform. So I had a little chip around the green with the 9 iron and the pitching wedge there, and I must say they sound fantastic, feel really good off the club face. Got a milled club face on these as well, which in terms of the springiness, not really seeing that. They're very easy to control, seeing the flight that I wanted to get, and they weren't sort of jumping off the face at a silly speed when hitting those small delicate chips. So I'm happy to see that. So looks wise, behind the ball with that sort of compact heel to toe ratio and then the brush satin finish that they have, they look really nice behind the golf ball. Be interesting to see as we progress through the set. Are we going to see more offset come in? Is the blade length going to look a bit longer? But for those small shots, they look nice and sort of delicate. They don't look too cumbersome and clumsy behind the golf ball. I want to try some of the longer irons now and see what forgiveness is like, but let's talk price before we do. So the Caley Golf 01T iron is coming in at £449. That's for a 4 iron to a pitching wedge set. If we looked at something like the TaylorMade P790s, which are a very similar iron, which too come with similar parts, a lambkin grip and a KBS shaft, they would cost you £1,149 for 4 iron to pitching wedge as well. So it is a massive, massive saving. Now there are some setbacks. They are direct to consumer, so you don't get to try them. They do run a sort of demo program where you could use the 7 iron out of the set as your demo club. If you don't like them, you can return them, but you then don't have the ability to go into a store and get them fit. You don't get to try maybe the pitching wedge, the 5 iron. So there is that setback there. But we are seeing generally now that in these programs for the direct to consumer, there is some form of demo program. Now, £449, and that is including taxes and shipping as well anywhere around the world. So if there is an import tax as well, Caley Golf are looking after that for you as well, which is a massive, massive saving. But having that ability to maybe try them could be something. But on initial thoughts though, they're starting to look okay on the short stuff. And maybe if I'm not that bothered about getting them fit, that wouldn't be too much of an issue. But let's get into testing some long irons and see how they stack up to see if at $449 we should be buying these golf clubs in as well, guys. Do you know what else is really cheap? If you subscribe, it's totally free. Just click the button down there. So we're on the 15th hole at Warrington Golf Club. I'm gonna try these irons out now. I'm gonna hit maybe the 4, 5 and 6. I'm gonna play down the hole so I get to actually use all of them, but I wanna see what the forgiveness is like and what the workability is like. And then we're gonna put the distance aspect to the test on one of the par 3s with the launch monitor. But I'm looking to see here on my off-centered hits how they feel what the flight is like. Can I shape them? Can I hit the high-low shot? So let's see. Again, that wasn't my best strike, and it's launched okay, and it seems to have got out there. Right, let's hit a few more. Oh wow, that felt awesome. I did mention about them looking decent. Actually, behind the golf ball here with that longer iron, they've carried on with the looks. It's not looking massively offset, which I thought it might do, and that toe to heel ratio looks really nice. Didn't seem to be really wild off the face as well, because that was right out of the centre, and that would probably be the one shot when you do, maybe a little bit more when it's not on a tee. If you get them right out of the middle with a hollow body, some of these sort of distance irons, you see them really pop off. But that was pretty good. Let's hit a couple more and then we'll work our way down the hole. Sound and feel are getting a massive tick at the minute. They feel great. Distance wise are looking pretty good. Right, we'll give them a little test out of the rough as well. Those initial irons were very, very good. Tell you what, they've got quite a powerful flight on them. Don't struggle to get up, but not as high as I was expecting, maybe a tiny bit lower. Obviously we are out of wet grass here, so it's not going to launch as much, but came out nicely and seems to be getting a good distance. We'll just go off a slightly bit of longer turf, just again to see how it's cutting through those. Again, that's come out really well. Flighted nicely, even with the way the irons are built. They're sort of not the thickest of soles, but got a little bit of depth to them, and they're gliding through that rough really nicely and still managing to get the ball launching. Long irons and forgiveness wise, pretty good. I'm going to test maybe a few mid irons, a 6 and a 7, then it's all about that distance. Ooh, that's a good one, because not my best shot, and it's still hit green high with a pretty poor golf strike. Initial thoughts going pretty well with these longer irons, the mid irons. I've got a 9 iron out here from 145, and I am slightly downwind here, so I just want to hit more of a sort of a knockdown shot just to feel what the workability is like with these ones as well. But initial thoughts, it's starting to feel pretty good all around, so let's see what we get here. I mean, I've hit that pretty poor, and it's not far away at all. About 20 feet, and I caught it pretty heavy. Oh, that's more like it. Yeah, perfect. Go in the hole then. Hope you got that on zoom. Good lad. So far, we're getting big ticks on these Caley Golf irons. In terms of the forgiveness after testing the long irons and the workability, seeing that they do perform. On miss hits, they were going pretty well. They were pretty decent out of the rough as well. Then that workability aspect, being able to hit the ball high, low, medium, it seemed to do that pretty much on beck and call, and obviously that is down to skill level, but there does seem to be that air of workability about them. I think not having a massive offset them on them as well is a huge factor in that. Sometimes you see huge offsets which would struggle to then provide you with sort of the fade and the draw shot. So this is the real test. I'm now on the par 3 at Warrington, the 16th hole. It's 150 to the middle, 165 to the back. It's slightly into the wind. I've got an 8 iron, and what I want to see here is consistent distances. I want to see that I'm not all of a sudden getting a massive jumper with no spin and goes an extra 15-20 yards. I want to know that I'm getting those consistent distances. So we're going to hit 3 shots and see where they land on the green and what those numbers are coming out like before we decide whether you should be trying these irons. Right, so we've got the GC3 set up, and I'll give you a little shout out of numbers once we've hit them, but let's see what we've got. A tiny bit skinny, dry ball data, 159 yards for 7,700 spin. We are into the wind, so it has actually missed just short of the green there and spun back, but not too bad, not too bad. It's the shot that you really get flush out of the middle, which is the one where all of a sudden you would see it jump off. So hopefully we get a bit of a better strike on this second one. It's a bit of a better strike. Stalling in that wind, it's strong today. We're just getting the front, that was 161, 7,374 spins, so very consistent from a better strike. We're just seeing that the spun obviously spun up a little bit more from that thin one. Let's hit a third and final one. So that's a really good example for me there, because I've absolutely middled that one and it's only gone 165 yards with 7,324 spin and a 122 ball speed. So there was that jump in ball speed, but I've only seen that I've actually gained a couple yards more than the actually poor struck one. So good to see that we're not seeing those massive jump in distances, which I think have always been a problem with the hollow bodied irons. So the Caley Golf Iron 01T, should you be trying them out? I think over the broad aspect of everything, the price is a big tick, the performance is a big tick, and the looks is a big tick. The only issue with them is trying to get maybe a full fitting on them, which is a hurdle that they'll have to cross. But overall, a very good set of irons, definitely worth trying. And if you've enjoyed this video, why not check out another video on a direct-to-consumer set here, and see you in another one very soon.